Hey there, Hofstra fans. Welcome to another episode of Blue and Gold Weekly. I'm your host, Kevin Dexter. Well, what a run it was for the Hofstra men's soccer team once again in the NCAA tournament. The Pride heading into the third round over the weekend for the second time in the last 3 seasons, and they played a thriller against Furman. Hofstra got the scoring started early. 17 minutes in, it was Daniel Burko, the flick on the feed from Tengil Orison. Pride led it early. It was tied at 1 at halftime. After Furman scored 2 goals late, the Pride rallied. First, it was Laurie Goddard in the right place at the right time to get the Pride back within 1. And just 1 minute and 8 seconds later, it was Goddard again, the header off the cross from Alexei Armas. The Pride with a miraculous rally to come back and tie it at 3. But after overtime, they were eliminated on penalty kicks, 5-4. So their season and this incredible NCAA tournament run comes to an end. A tough way to end it for the Pride for sure, and it brings an end to the illustrious coaching career of Richard Nuttall here at Hofstra after 37 seasons. I had the privilege to sit down with Coach Nuttall to talk about the entire journey. Well, the head coach of the Hofstra men's soccer team, Richard Nuttall, yet another incredible run for you guys, and of course a very tough way for it to end on Sunday at Furman. What have your thoughts been over the last couple of days taking it all in?
Yeah, it's been actually really tough emotionally, but again, you've just got to move on in life. It's a tough moment, and I feel for the kids more than I feel for myself. I feel for the seniors the most. I do believe with what's going off with the program, the culture, the direction, I do believe that we'll get many of these moments in the future with, Stephen and Sean taking fully over, Stephen being the head coach. I do believe there's going to be a lot more moments where they'll experience success. So sad for the players, sad most for the seniors, but you just got to keep moving forward and understanding that life's tough sometimes, and it's not going to define you, but it's going to help you who you are for the rest of your life. So when you have a bit of adversity, it just makes you stronger, makes you better if you deal with it in a mentally tough way.
Well, this season obviously was a special one as a whole. Everybody going into it knowing it would be your final year. When you think back to have a run like this, to make the NCAA tournament again, to get to the third round, how special was it for that to be your final year?
Yeah, incredibly special. I mean, winning it all would have been great, of course. But not to be. And again, I believe Furman may have a chance of winning it, or Portland. Portland's a very good team who they're playing next. Out of that game, I believe there might be a national winner. So we'll see. But proud. Look, we've gone toe to toe with a very, very good team, and it's my last season and it hasn't ended well, but I've had so many joyous moments again, and as I'm not leaving, I will be around. And I'm here to support everybody now. Everybody supported me, so it's now my turn to support them.
A few people have mentioned this. Rick mentioned this at our staff meeting yesterday. Your program has allowed all of us, right, to dream the ultimate dream, which just not every program here does, and allow us to all dream about a national title, like you just said. And your program has gotten so close. What does that mean to let this whole, community and department rally around you guys?
Look, I'm proud of the fact that we're thinking about it, and I think we've got a good base. But I believe that this program can challenge for a national title. And again, I'm going to do my best to support those guys to the best of my ability in all areas, and I know they've got the support of the university. The university is incredible. President Poser and Rick Cole and everybody down, they've been incredible. Their support, you can't ask for more. So it's a great base that we're at now, and I believe that we're going to go onwards and upwards, and it's nice that we can challenge. I think it's a bit like a gathering snowball. I think we're going forward, and we're gathering speed, and we're gathering size. And again, why not? Why not us? Let's see who wins it this year. It might be a mid-major winning it this year again. So why not us? And let's see what the future holds, but it's exciting times.
And these last 5 years specifically, I mean, how proud are you to go out with this run? 4 CAA titles, 5 NCAA tournaments, 2 third rounds, just a success you guys have built.
Yeah, it's been brilliant. But if you think about it, I think the 3 CAA playoffs before that even we only lost on penalties to JMU.
Yeah.
So I think until we lost to Stony Brook, I think there were 18 and 19 CA playoff games where we didn't lose in regulation. And our 2 last Sweet 16 losses in the last 5 years, we've lost on penalties too. So, I mean, not great when you look at the penalty conversion rate, but great to say that you've been in games and you could have advanced with a little bit of luck or things ball bounces your way. But the fact is, in the last 8 years, we've only really lost once in the CAA playoffs, and we've lost twice on penalties in the NCAA. So we're there or thereabouts. Let's push forward, let's push onwards and upwards, and let's see what we can do.
You know, I'm sure it's really hard after a couple days after a loss, but you think at these 37 years, I'm sure you're going to take a lot of time to reflect. But how can you sit here today and kind of reflect on?
Yeah, look, I've been introspective a lot this last 48 hours, to be honest. But it's not really about me. It's about the common goal and the common group of people. And I was lucky enough to lead the charge, and now it's somebody else leading the charge, Coach Roach. And I'm going to get behind and push as much as possible. But it is emotional. But, you know, myself and my wife, Christine, we spoke about this 6 or 7 months ago, that, you know, I've never really had my evenings or weekends free. I've said this before, and it'll be great to spend more time with the family, more time with my wife, Christine, and see what's out there in life other than, you know, being tied to a 24/7 job. I'm looking forward to it. I might miss it, you don't know, do you? But we'll see.
You stole my next question, which is, now that you're not going to be immediately going out and recruiting and preparing for next year, I mean, what does Richard Nuttall do with a little bit of free time now?
Well, it's a little bit. I do obviously coach in the community. I have a great men's team, Greek American, that I've been with for 35 years that I work with. I also work in a club team, but I've also got a project going in Portugal that I'm going to work towards having a true soccer academy where I will hopefully produce real soccer players who are tough, hard-nosed, who can tackle, shoot, cross, head a ball, command a box, command a defensive box, offensive box, and maybe be able to command on the field vocally and from a communication point of view. I think we're producing a lot of vanilla players, and I want to produce ready, D1 ready and pro ready players. That's my long-term goal.
Well, what is your, I guess, final message here to the Hofstra community? So many people supported you guys over the last few weeks and, of course, over the last 37 years. You know, what is your message to all those folks?
Look, I think I have 300 plus messages on my phone at the moment that I haven't replied to, and I'm going to. I'll reply to each and every one. And over my 37 years, I'm a nightmare. I'm a nightmare administratively. My concentration's terrible at times, but everybody's always supported me, and I feel thankful for that. And I feel that people, I've got my good parts. I feel that people have plugged the gaps and helped me in many ways. And it's not about me. It's about who we were as a you know, shoulder to shoulder with everybody and moving forward. So my last message is, and I said it before, is I'm insanely thankful for all the support I've had and people who've covered for me. And it's numerous people. They've learned who I am. They've adapted to me and they've helped me along the way, and I'm truly, truly thankful.
Well, thank you as always. Always a pleasure to chat for many times over the years. We appreciate it, and best of luck here in the next chapter.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Kevin.
An incredible man, an incredible career here at Hofstra. Congratulations again to Coach Nuttall, and thanks for sitting with us for a couple of minutes. Well, that puts a bow on the fall season in Hofstra athletics, and all the attention now turns to the winter teams. And boy, was it a great weekend for the Hofstra men's basketball team in Philadelphia. A clean sweep at the Cathedral Classic at the Palestra. First up for the Pride, it was LaSalle, and it was a tight game. Cruz Davis led the way, playing all 40 minutes, scoring 22 points and adding 5 assists. And the big moment for the Pride came up 2 in the final minute. Preston Edmeade, the step back 3 to clinch it. Pride came out on top, 63-58. Next up was Merrimack, and this one was all Pride. Silas Sunday had a big day off the bench, a career-high 15 points to go along with 7 rebounds, and the freshman Ed Mead starred again, 22 points and 5 made threes for Preston. Hofstra rolled 78-58. The final day saw the Pride take on the host Penn, and after trailing by 2 at halftime, they turned it up in the second half. Hofstra locked it down on D, and they turned that into O. Spectacular here from Preston Ed Mead and Cruz Davis. Davis had 18 points, Ed Mead had 11 more and 8 assists as he was named CAA Rookie of the Week for the third time already this season. Hofstra rolling by Penn, 77-60. No rest, though, for the Pride. They get right back at it this week with a road game on Wednesday night at Columbia, and then Sunday afternoon they'll head on the road to face ACC foe Pitt. It was a tough week in Puerto Rico for the Pride women's basketball team. They lost to number 7 Maryland 95-38 and East Carolina 72-53. Freshman Olivia Van Patten had 8 points against Maryland to lead the way for the Pride. Alarice Gooden a team-high 10 against East Carolina. The Pride back at home this Saturday as they welcome in local rival Fordham at 2 o'clock. And the Hofstra wrestling team had the week off. They are back in action this Sunday when they take on Wisconsin at the Max Sports Complex at 2 o'clock. Well, that's it for this edition of Blue and Gold Weekly. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. Go Pride.